Nigga kill over a bitch, but let a rat keep his wife.
I'm telling you, man.
All right. So what's the breaking news we got, gentlemen?
Munchie
Man,
know it.
the breaking
Hold
news
on.
is, man,
Hey,
maybe
Trilla,
Charleston White,
hold
huh?
on, hold on. Man, listen, man. Listen, Charleston White, Carmelo Anthony,
We
his
can't talk
family.
about it, man. This nigga with this cheap ass Wi-Fi.
Yeah, he got that
Nah,
Metro
I'm
PCS phone.
responding. I'm responding to a customer in y'all's comments.
Okay. Hey, man, you gotta get you another phone, man.
Man, I got a customer in y'all comments that wants a link. The link is in the bio. Maybe he could
Man,
tag
you
it.
can't hey, you can't just be advertising your
Boy,
company in the
selling
bio any
rocks on
link.
us.
You
He's
can't be
selling
doing that.
rocks right now in
You
our face.
selling
He is
dope
selling
online. You selling hair online. You
selling
can't be doing
dope.
that, bro.
Trilla
Yeah,
gonna
you can't
get
be doing
paid,
that.
Jack.
This nigga,
Trilla gonna get paid.
this nigga just went and put a shameless plug in the. You can't be doing that, bro. Can you do that?
He can
Can
do
we
it. He
do
can do it.
that?
He can do it, man. He can do it. We
Okay,
gotta get our
okay. His
promo
family, he
on.
can do it. He can do
We
it. It's
gotta get
promo.
paid. He right. He right. He
It's
down
promo. Oh
100%
yeah, you
right.
right. You right. You right. Right. So listen, what's the topic, man? I'm gonna let y'all because y'all woke me up with this shit. You hear me? Now what's
Man,
going
the
on?
topic is, man, Charleston White set up that boy Carmelo Anthony, man. He set him up, man. It was all a play, man. Charleston White is with the white people, man. And I'm saying that nicely, man. He's with them, man. That is his culture. That is his people, man. That's what he believes. He's not a Afro American at all. He set them people up, man. He sit there and he been talking to. At first, he was down with the play, saying that Karmelo Anthony needed to do life in prison for killing Metcalf. Him and Aiden Ross, they sent up a generous check to the Metcalf family early on. You know what I'm saying? And now he switched back. He riding with Carmelo Anthony and his family doing the court proceedings, and he helped them, uh, as he would say, set them up with the wrong jury, and he let them know it would have been okay, and that a white jury wasn't bad. And he kind of what do you call, he puppeted the family into the wrong direction, not getting a strong lawyer, not spending the money correctly. The family took the money and they relocated, and they should have got a stronger lawyer. But if they would have had stronger Afro American fighters with them, they could have won that easily. Better lawyers. It's a lot now. People coming forward. They fighting. They speaking on what's really going on and what they see wrong in the case. Mistrial type of thing. What you call it? Not mistrial. What's it called? When they mess up the case, need to do it over. I'm talking to the
Mistrial.
lawyer.
It's a
That's
Okay,
right.
mistrial.
mistrial.
It's a
Okay, it's
Yeah.
mistrial.
mistrial type of information. But now, uh, OG Murder made some accusations that were pretty accurate, saying that, uh, um, man, pretty much, Charleston
Charleston White
White
ran the
planked him,
play. He ran
walked
the
him off the
play.
plank,
He ran the old reverse okey doke on the motherfucker. He
walked
ran
him off the plank,
quarterback,
off the
How
content.
quarterback
how
sneak.
could how could how could Charleston White walk them off the plank? Explain that to me because
Because
the lawyer
they were supposed to
still.
have a Say Cheese interview afterwards. The family and Charleston White. You know, Charleston White runs Say Cheese over there. That's his thing.
No, he does
Uh,
not.
who run it? I know who run it, but if he snap his fingers, it's a Charleston White show over there,
Him
man.
and Sean Cotton and JT. Sean Cotton, I say Sean Cotton. Sean Cotton and Charleston White are into it. They have separated. They're no longer in business together.
I'm pretty sure if he would have brought that story, they would have accepted that story. That's the biggest story in America. But
That's possibly true, but there's no way. Charleston White is just a worker for Say Cheese TV, so he wasn't gonna get no action off of that.
well, the action was, it's all about money. It's all about views. So if he would have brought the family over there to do an interview, it would have been millions of views. And I think Charles and White might have got pissed off, and that's why he started talking bad to the father because they no longer want to involve themselves with Charles and White. You know what I'm saying? It's always different views. Oh, they don't want to involve themselves with Charles and White. Now Charles and White come over there talking about watermelon felon. You know what I'm saying? Because the Metcalf daddy said that Charles White come out with the t-shirts. Now he trying to make money off the Metcalf with the Metcalf family, and half of his shirt proceeds watermelon felon goes to the Metcalf family, and that's true.
So, so listen. Anything that comes out of Charleston White's mouth, and let me start off first. Let me respond. Right. So we know that when the incident first transpired, that Charleston White came down with this opinion, and he was firmly on the Metcalf side of the equation. He then switched over publicly, right? Because he's been flip flop publicly 5 or 6 times over the course of the last year and a half.
Oh, for sure.
At first he was acknowledging, and then he was promoting how Karmelo Anthony was wrong with it. He was supporting and endorsing the Metcalf family. Then he switched over to joining forces with the Anthony family. And we know for a fact that he was talking according to his own admission and according to other information that we've been able to gather. He has been talking and advising the Anthony family in terms of which direction, which way do we go? Who do we choose? Who do we deal with? We know that he's been instrumental. Even according to him, he's been
So
talking to them since like day two, like not figuratively, but metaphorically, since day two of the entire situation. He says that he's been advising the family.
Right.
So, I mean, he didn't flip flop so many times before the first flop, before the
so
first
so
flip.
so let me explain. Let me ask you a question. Are we mad at him for doing what he's doing? I don't understand what the direction is.
That's a question for
Oh,
me. Hell yeah. Let
Both
me
of
tell
y'all.
you. Yeah,
Why,
yeah. So listen. So the first question is, are we mad at him? So
who are we mad at? Charleston White or the daddy?
we made it
we mad at
Charleston White.
all of them. I'm mad at
I
all of
would
them.
never get mad at
I wouldn't be mad at the father. The father, he just hurt because his
No,
son.
let me tell you something,
I
right?
would never
Listen.
let Charleston White looks like an inbred and he's mentally retarded. Y'all are letting the nigga that's on the spectrum. He may be able to talk. He's on the spectrum. So if some regular people let a spectrum nigga come in and derail them, that ain't Charleston White fault. That's their fault.
It's different. It's their fault also, but Charleston White had an influence on the family and what they was doing, the moves they were making, and they definitely could have found somebody better. Like I was telling y'all earlier, though, man, them people ain't never been in no criminal situation, man. You know, it's a skill to go to jail and learn the court system. I got three guys up here right now who know the court system because y'all was in the system. You know what I'm saying? And me too. I go down there. I go to straight
Yeah.
law library.
So
I'm going law
so
library every Monday. Whenever they call it, and I'm in that mug. So
so listen.
it's just part
What
of something you got to learn, man. They don't learn that type of stuff. You know, they just ignorant to the fact of what's
so
going on.
you know what? I was arguing against that point earlier, right? And it is true that all three of us have did stints in the penitentiary. And so, even if you're not a law library champion, even if you don't know, even if you're not a paralegal or penitentiary legal beagle type nigga, you still, even through osmosis, you still learn certain things about the legal system because you have gone through the legal system. How
That's how
much
you
you pick
learn.
up and how much you pick up and how much you retain and how far you go and how expansive your knowledge is, that depends on what you do with your time, right?
Right
So
on.
let me just say this, right? I was very critical of the Anthony family earlier, and you just said something to me that really kind of like sparked me, right? Because it is true that people who have never been involved with the legal system before, they don't have that knowledge to draw from. They've never
Right.
really had to bump heads with white people. They never had
Right.
to really bump heads with the legal system. They see shit on TV and they hear shit, but a lot of the shit that black people see and hear on TV, radio, or social media, YouTube, a lot of that shit be flying over black people's heads.
Yeah.
And that's why black people are in the shape they're in right now, in part because we don't learn from the things that are presented to us. You know what I'm saying? We overlook that shit because life is life, and a lot of times we're not really paying attention to details. And so, if you're not paying attention to details, you can find yourself in a situation where you walking yourself into a brick wall. I will acknowledge that. But having said that, man, when it comes to responsibility, all three of us, we always talk about black people having to be responsible for what we do. We can talk about slavery. We can talk about chattel slavery, physical slavery. We can talk about
Yeah.
the Reconstruction. We can talk about Jim Crow segregation. We can talk about the civil rights struggle. We can talk about systemic racism. But it's 2026, bro, right? There are barriers that still present themselves to black people to kind of like stop us from doing certain things. But by and large, bro, you can be anything you want to be if you put the effort into being it, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I'm not gonna put like Trill said. Trill said, "Well, I ain't gonna blame Charleston because nigga, if you let a motherfucker, he's a proverbial spectrum baby. If you
Yeah.
let a motherfucker like that, Charleston White is a modern day civil rights leader. He's like Charles. He's like what's his nigga name? Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson. He an ambulance chase. No, listen, I ain't even gonna call him a civil rights leader, even though I
Nah,
want
he
to
no
call him
civil
that.
rights leader.
He
Who, Charleston White?
Yeah.
Charleston White.
Man,
He's like
y'all gotta be stopped,
no, hey
man.
Trill,
He ain't no
when you
civil
look at
rights leader at
well,
all.
hold on, let me say this though. Let me say why I'm saying that, and I'm gonna give you a flow. When you look at the impact he has just in urban media space, YouTube and interviews and shit like that, you have people who listen to him. You have people who hang on his every word. Not somebody who's conscious, not somebody who's not slow their motherfucking self, but he does have influence and he does have an impact on the conversation. If he wasn't influential in that way, then he wouldn't be getting that money for interviews just to talk and give his opinion about whatever's going on. When you listen
Well,
to the interviews, I very rarely listen to his interviews, if at all, because he's just rambling on. He ain't really dropping no game. In the game he is dropping, Charleston White, he's figured out that the majority of black people in this country don't pay attention to details. And so he can use what we don't know against us as a people and make himself seem like that he's some great orator or some shit like that.
yeah, well, I think
Charleston
anybody who
White.
run it, go ahead.
Go ahead, now. Go ahead, Munch.
I was just gonna say, I think anybody who know how to work this internet can be a voice at this time in 2026.
Yeah,
Nigga he ain't all that, but he do say some smart things sometimes.
but
He
yeah,
do
he does though.
come
But
with his
listen,
facts, and he just
watch
study
this.
before he talk. But
Let
still,
me chime in for you take over, Trill. When I say that he reminds me of a civil rights leader, I don't mean like the good ones. I mean like the low down, dirty, rotten ones, like
Jesse Jackson.
the
Yeah,
Jesse
yeah.
Jacksons and the Al Sharptons. He reminds
like
me of.
Martin Luther King.
No, you
Like
gonna
Martin
stop that
King.
shit. You
No,
gonna
Martin
stop
Nah,
that
for
King.
shit.
Martin King.
real.
No. Martin King was a bullshit nigga. Let's talk about it.
Bullshit nigga,
Hey,
man.
Let's
because
talk
he
about
fucked a
ring the
few,
alarm,
because
nigga.
he fucked a few hoes, don't mean he was a bullshit nigga,
Nah,
Trill.
ain't about no hoes, man. He led us
And
into
then,
the pits of fire.
no, you gonna stop saying that, bro.
No,
Yeah.
You gonna
he
stop saying
tricked the
that.
whole. He tricked you niggas to believe that y'all had to integrate. They
That's
used
right.
him as a pawn, nigga.
That's
You
right.
should
That's
have.
true.
You should
That's
be living
true.
in your own that the house that you are in right now. You should be. That should be no. It should be no white people around there. Just like they don't
That's
want to live with
right.
us. We don't need to leave with they bitch ass either.
That's right.
Okay, let me
We
tell
need to
you.
get our neighborhoods back.
Okay, now watch this. So can I respond to that or no?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so listen. So when it comes to in the fight for civil rights in this country, in the fight of so-called equality, he was one of the premier spokespeople for black people. So that is true. But what I want to say is that I don't really have an argument to what y'all saying because he admitted right before he died that he made mistakes and that he feared that the positions that he took for the majority of his career were the wrong position because
Wrong position.
he felt like he led us into a burning house, which was
He did.
integration, right? And that is true.
Yeah.
A part of one of the biggest parts of the deterioration of the black community is that we left our communities to go parlay and live amongst white people because black people have been conditioned to look at all things white like they better. And to be truthful, just because something's a stereotype, don't mean it ain't true. In those white communities, you had less crime and less obvious forms of crime and
No, they
violence
didn't.
on full display.
No, they
Munchie,
didn't.
where you
They
live
had
at,
no
ain't no
less
motherfucking
crime,
crime
man.
right
Man,
around
we
there.
had
Ain't no
flourishing
crime around there right
communities.
now.
Hey, they say we had flourishing communities in
We did.
Oklahoma.
We did.
They always name about one, two
Yeah,
cities. Man, we
we
had
did.
flourishing